In a groundbreaking and mind-bending discovery, scientists have recently reconstructed an image of entangled photons, particles of light, using advanced quantum imaging techniques. To the astonishment of many, the image that emerged from their experiment bore an uncanny resemblance to the ancient Taoist symbol of Yin Yang. This discovery, published in Nature Photonics, has captured the imaginations of both physicists and spiritual seekers alike. Not only does it reveal a fundamental property of quantum mechanics, but it also raises questions about the deep connections between ancient wisdom and the cutting-edge discoveries of modern science. What is quantum entanglement? Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon that Einstein famously referred to as spooky action at a distance, due to the way it defies our classical understanding of physics. At its core, entanglement occurs when two particles, usually photons, become linked in such a way that the state of one instantly affects the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are. This connection remains intact, even if the particles are separated by vast distances, creating an almost magical form of communication that seems to operate outside the bounds of time and space. The entangled particles behave as one, and a change in one particle's state will instantly cause a corresponding change in the other, whether they're across a room or across the universe. First discovered by Albert Einstein, Boris Podolsky, and Nathan Rosen in the 1930s as part of the EPR paradox, quantum entanglement was initially met with skepticism. It posed a challenge to classical physics, which couldn't explain how particles could influence one another without any apparent interaction. Yet, over decades of experiments, the phenomenon has been repeatedly verified, and it has now become one of the cornerstones of quantum physics. Entanglement is fascinating because it defies the physical laws we experience in our everyday lives. In our macroscopic world, objects don't behave in such an instantaneous, interconnected manner. The implications of quantum entanglement are profound, opening the door to potential applications like quantum computing, secure quantum communication, and precise quantum sensors that could revolutionize technology and our understanding of the universe. The yin-yang image and the bizarre connection. This brings us to the recent discovery. Two entangled photons, when visualized using an advanced quantum imaging technique known as biphoton digital holography, produced an image strikingly similar to the ancient Taoist Yin Yang symbol. The symbol, a circular icon divided into two complementary halves, one black and one white, each containing a dot of the opposite color, has long represented the balance of opposing forces in the universe, light and dark, male and female, good and evil, life and death. It's strange, isn't it? The ancient symbol of Yin Yang, which has been a core part of Taoism for thousands of years, seems to bear a remarkable resemblance to the patterns formed by quantum entanglement. This discovery is not just scientifically fascinating, it's also deeply philosophical. How could a symbol that's been part of human culture for millennia, developed without the aid of modern science, reflect such an advanced concept of quantum physics? It raises a thought-provoking question. Could ancient Taoist masters, through their deep meditative practices, have seen something in the universe that we are only now beginning to understand? Taoism, one of the oldest spiritual practices in China, emphasizes living in harmony with the Tao, which is the natural order of the universe. The Yin Yang symbol is central to Taoist philosophy, representing the balance between opposing forces that create harmony in the universe. In Taoist thought, everything is interconnected, and opposites are not in conflict but in balance, each containing a seed of the other. The origin of the Yin Yang symbol is not well documented, but it's believed to have emerged as early as the Zhou dynasty in 1046 to 256 BCE. It became a core concept in Taoist teachings, particularly in the works of Laozi, the legendary figure often credited with founding Taoism. The symbols philosophy is deeply tied to the Taoist practices of meditation, breathing techniques, and achieving harmony with the universe. Could ancient Taoist masters have seen quantum entanglement? Given the deep connection between Taoism and the practice of meditation, breathing exercises, and energy control, one could speculate that ancient Taoist masters, through decades of rigorous discipline and spiritual practice, may have developed extraordinary abilities to perceive beyond the physical world. Practices like controlled breathing or Qigong focus on the cultivation of Qi energy and the flow of life force through the body. Over long periods of meditation, practitioners could have activated higher states of consciousness, such as clairvoyance, allowing them to perceive distant places, people and objects like planets and stars, and even microscopic objects like a grain of sand, a drop of water, or a worm buried deep down underneath. This is where the speculation becomes fascinating. If a Taoist master could develop the ability to astral project, leaving their physical body behind and traveling in their spirit form, they might have been able to perceive the very entangled states of particles, even at a quantum level. Could it be that the ancient Taoists, through their mastery of breathing and energy techniques, were able to see the entanglement of particles that modern scientists are only now beginning to understand? Perhaps they saw the intricate dance of particles and represented it symbolically as the Yin Yang, a visual representation of the interconnectedness and balance between opposites in the universe. Taoism is filled with practices that aim to refine the body and mind, cultivating both physical and spiritual strength. Breathing techniques are central to these practices. Qigong and Tai Chi, for instance, focus on the movement and control of Qi, or life energy, through gentle flowing movements and deep, controlled breathing. These practices are said to enhance vitality, improve health, and even extend life. In some Taoist traditions, these practices go beyond physical health and enter the realm of spiritual power, including the ability to perform extraordinary feats, such as jumping great heights or walking lightly on surfaces. While these abilities are often linked to legendary Taoist immortals, they may have roots in the deeply focused and disciplined practices of energy control. Could these practices have led to an understanding of quantum entanglement? If ancient Taoist masters could develop such heightened awareness and control over their energy, could they have achieved the ability to perceive the quantum world? After all, both Taoism and Hinduism share a focus on energy flow, meditation, and awareness beyond the physical body. In this light, it's fascinating to imagine a Taoist master practicing for decades, cultivating their mind and body until they could achieve a level of consciousness capable of perceiving the hidden world of quantum particles. If such a master, through astral projection or deep meditation, were able to tune into the vibrations of the universe, it's possible that they might have seen the entanglement of photons, capturing it in a symbolic image that perfectly aligns with the modern understanding of quantum physics. Perhaps the Yin Yang symbol is not just a philosophical idea, but an ancient representation of the interconnectedness of all things, down to the quantum level. In spiritualism, there is a recurring theme among those who have experienced near-death experiences, NDEs. Many of them report seeing not just deceased loved ones, but also living people, and in some cases, even their guardian angels. This raises a fascinating question. How could someone see individuals who are still alive on the other side. It's easy to assume that those who have passed away are accessible in the spiritual realm, but how could the living be there too? Could this phenomenon be linked to the concept of quantum entanglement? We know from quantum physics that everything is made up of particles, and these particles are subject to the strange phenomenon of entanglement. When particles become entangled, they remain connected in a way that their states are linked, regardless of the distance between them. This prompts an intriguing idea. If we, as physical beings, are made up of entangled particles, could entanglement also extend to our spiritual or energetic bodies? Could this explain how we might experience a connection to the living while in a spiritual state? Spiritualists, NDE experiencers, and even hypnotherapists have reported similar accounts where individuals perceive a connection with both the living and the deceased on the other side. This has led to speculation that every individual leaves a part of their energy, perhaps an energetic body, on the other side, even during reincarnation. It is said that when we enter the spiritual realm, a fragment of our essence remains there, regardless of our physical presence here on Earth. If this theory holds true, it could explain why some individuals feel particularly drained or energetic in their physical lives. Those who leave more energy in the spiritual realm, whether for purposes of learning or other reasons, may find themselves feeling more tired or worn down. This is in alignment with the concept of entanglement. Whatever happens to our physical body will influence the energetic body on the other side, and vice versa. This brings us to a new perspective on healing. Traditionally, when we think of healing, we focus on the physical body. But if our energetic body is indeed entangled with our physical body, then healing the spiritual body could also heal the physical body. In this context, raising our energy and absorbing positive, healing energy is just as important for our physical well-being as it is for our spiritual health. This idea aligns with ancient healing practices. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of energy work, such as meditation, prayer, or Reiki, to heal both the body and spirit. Just as we nourish our physical bodies with food and exercise, we must also nourish our spiritual or energetic bodies with positive energy, mindful practices, and connection to the greater universe. By doing so, we may be able to bring healing to both realms. The concept of quantum entanglement provides a scientific framework to understand how these two bodies, the physical and the spiritual, are interconnected. And as science and spirituality continue to intersect, it opens up new possibilities for holistic healing. This perspective not only deepens our understanding of the entanglement between mind, body, and spirit, but also gives us a fresh lens through which to view the profound connections between the living and the deceased in the spiritual realm. It may very well be that the energetic ties that bind us are more powerful than we realize, and that these invisible connections could hold the key to our healing on all levels. We know Western religion's goal is to enter heaven upon death. Then what is the goal of Taoism? The teachings of Laozi and other Taoist masters are often misunderstood, particularly when it comes to their goal of immortality. Many people in ancient times believed that Taoist practices were about achieving physical immortality. This idea was so pervasive that even emperors sought out Taoist masters to create potions or pills that would grant them eternal life. In fact, this belief in physical immortality was part of Taoism's self-proclaimed purpose, much like the alchemists of the past. This concept of immortality even found its way into popular culture, inspiring stories like Full Metal Alchemist. However, this interpretation of immortality is a misunderstanding of Taoism's true teachings. The immortality Taoism refers to is not physical, but spiritual, much like the idea of entering heaven upon death. So, what does Taoism say is necessary to achieve spiritual immortality? In essence, it's about doing nothing. Yes, you heard that right. Nothing. The practice involves cultivating qi, life force, and focusing on breath work while letting go of interference in the world. It's a philosophy that encourages non-action and harmony with the natural flow of life. This idea is similar to the concept of cutting down karma in Hinduism, essentially disengaging from the cycle of action and reaction. But how could a religion promote doing nothing? Could it be that Taoist masters, through their clairvoyance, saw that the physical realm is not truly real? If they could perceive the spiritual dimension and understand the illusion of the material world, it would make sense for them to teach that avoiding engagement with it in order not to create karma is the path to spiritual immortality. The recent discovery of quantum entanglement resembling the Yin Yang Symbol is nothing short of bizarre and awe-inspiring. It invites us to ponder the connections between ancient spiritual practices and modern scientific discoveries. Could it be that ancient Taoists, through their meditative practices, glimpsed truths about the universe that are only now being uncovered by quantum physicists? It's a question that blurs the lines between science and spirituality, offering a fascinating glimpse into the mysteries of both the quantum world and the human consciousness. What do you think? Could these ancient practices have led to an understanding of quantum physics long before we had the technology to explore it? It's a possibility that opens up new realms of thought, where science and spirituality intersect in the most unexpected ways.